If we decide to give you the job, will you be able to come?
This is a challenge.
You can always do with an au pair in the mind.
Yeah, I need an au pair.
Trivial to you what I'm going to present, but on the end of the day, it is very important for us to have a real clear idea what storytelling is and what storytelling competences are. The first edge of the triangle is the story itself. In our storytelling courses, we very often experience that there's someone who says, "I have a great story, great heroes in it, and adventure, breathtaking adventures, and romance, and whatever you need for a story." But I can't tell it. I can't tell it. It is not enough to have a good story. It's not enough, you have to tell it. And this is everything that is the second edge, that is everything that concerns performance. Performance is your voice, your tone, the rhythm, your body work, your ability to keep eye contact, eye discipline, and so on. And the third, finally to make it rhyme out of it, the virtuous grounds, is the third is the emotion.
For me, the fact that you've recognised emotion, I've always said it's the kind of the fuel that drives the engine. And people have said to me, a lot of your stories are very sentimental. They made me sad. They made me feel, they made me feel real sadness. And I often say, well, I mean, I've achieved something then if I do that. So I really think that's a very important factor, and it probably isn't recognised.
When you were talking about your own connection with the story from your within, and also the emotion between you and the audience is so key, because it creates the fuel to carry you further in the story as you tell it.
Something about fantastic, fantasy, make believe, and that's one of the ways I look at it. It's making people believe what you're telling them. Inside their head they see this, and it's real there. It's a fairy tale, it's a mythical story, but it's there in their head. And while you've got it there, you have to embellish it, embroidery, and bring it along to a climax.
Especially, it's children, so we are coming together once a month, and we are telling only stories for children. But it's smaller than you are telling, but it is also a very private and nice thing. All we come together, we are the people who love the children, and we would like to have an exchange from our stories, which we would like to tell to the children, make them happy, and we exchange also our emotions and our things.
And you're invited to take my story, my really trivial, easy to tell story, and start to change it in the different moods, in different subtexts. So once you tell it as a ghost or mystery story, once as a love romantic story, once with lots of adventure in it, a drama, a tragedy, a comedy, or once maybe as a fairy tale.
Disturbs the community. And then he asked, what's the name of the Indian?
Years ago, before the white man came to the Americas, where the Great Plains roll up against the majestic Rocky Mountains, there lived a young Indian brave named Joe Eagle.
Das wollte er gerne erleben. So packte er seine 7 Sachen und machte sich auf die weite Reise, von ganz vom Süden bis weit in den Norden.
In the ditch, where he could peek up and see what was happening. And it wasn't long before Brer Rabbit came down the road, lickety-click, sat jaybird. And when he saw that tar baby, he reared back up on his back legs like he was astonished to see a person sitting there by the road.
Einer langen Tages- und Nachtfahrt endlich am Ort meiner Bestimmung an. Der Bus setzte mich ab an einem heißen Augusttag mitten in der englischen Landschaft zwischen Reading und Oxford. Braziers Park hieß meine Adresse. Und ja, da war ein Park.
Und ich stieg in das Flugzeug, hatte zugegebenermaßen doch noch ziemlich viel Flugangst, weil so viel war ich ja noch nicht in der Welt rumgekommen. Und dann ging es ab nach Irland. Ich landete schon nach kurzer Zeit in Dublin, ich konnte allerdings auch sehr gut schlafen in der Nacht. Nun, am nächsten Morgen ging es dann richtig los. Sie erklärte mir gleich um 4:30 in der Früh, was denn so meine Aufgaben gebracht habe.
Und ich habe sie also ein letztes Mal noch umarmt an der Passkontrolle, dann ist sie durchgegangen. Sie drehte sich noch einmal um, winkte und schickte mir noch einen Handkuss. Dann bin ich die langen Laufbänder wieder zurück, mit nassen Augen und durch die Glastüre des Ausgangs.
Ich hatte das große Glück, kurz nach dem Abitur ein ganzes Jahr in Florenz leben zu dürfen und dort Italienisch zu lernen. Ich lebte in der Via Cosimo Ridolfi Nummer 4. Und schon am ersten Morgen, als ich die Augen aufschlug in Florenz, war ich Florentiner.
On my way as a storyteller. She is. Hello, Scott.
Ich begrüße Sie herzlich auf meinem absoluten Lieblingsfriedhof. Ich bin keine Münchnerin, lebe aber seit 25 Jahren hier und erlaube mir es trotzdem als meine Heimat hier anzusehen, auch diesen Friedhof. Ich gehe zu jeder Jahreszeit hier hin. Der ist einfach wunderschön und geht immer sehr ans Herz. Heute ist der ideale Tag überhaupt für einen Friedhof, finde ich. Besser umgekehrt ist. Im Herzen ist ihr echter Name, Elisabeth Viļānos, also das, was den Kern ausmacht, und nicht der von Valentin gegebene, diese Karlstadt. Regisseur, ich habe den sogar noch persönlich kennengelernt, man erfror neben ihm. Der inszenierte folgendermaßen, er setzte sich zu Hause hin, wirklich mit kleinen Figuren, die Bühne, abends vor der Probe. Und dann setzte er sich hin und ging die ganzen Wege ab, die die Figuren zu gehen hatten. Also einen Satz sagen und dann dahin gehen und dann dahin gehen. Und das zeichnete er auf. Das ist, alle haben jetzt mal ein Auto und revidiert bestimmte Nachrichten.
Zwei gute alte Freunde. Sie sprachen über dieses und jenes und rauchten gemeinsam die Wasserpfeife. Und nach einiger Zeit erzählte der eine Freund dem anderen, wie wundervoll es doch sei, mit zwei Frauen verheiratet zu sein. Und in den blumenreichsten Worten schilderte er die Abwechslung, den Duft zweier Blumen, und er hörte und hörte nicht auf, dem Freund Wundervolles von dem Zusammenleben mit zwei Frauen zu berichten.
Hochzeitsgeschenke, die offiziellen Präsente der Staatsbesucher und all die Kronen, die aus der Mode geraten waren, wieder loswerden. An einem seiner Geburtstage also ließ er ein paar Kronen einschmelzen und ließ daraus wunderschöne goldene Vogelkäfige fertigen. Und auf jedem der Käfige stand der Name der Prinzessin des Monats, nachdem die jeweilige Prinzessin benannt
Streiten, das ist ja ganz doof, dann würden wir ja nicht mitkriegen, wie die Geschichte weitergeht. Was könnte noch nicht erlaubt sein, ja? Hauen ist auch nicht erlaubt. Beißen ist auch nicht erlaubt, genau. Schubsen ist auch nicht erlaubt. Dann geht's endlich los, endlich los, endlich los, endlich los.
Mary have been coming to the storytelling sessions at the village for years. The village has been going for 7 years now, and we have a monthly storytelling ceilidh at which they'll hear a whole variety of people telling stories.
That this barcode is the flag of the President of the European Union.
That my grey eyes come from the Viking blood that's mixed in with my people, because most North American natives have brown eyes, but grey eyes crop up every once in a while in my family, and it's supposed to be a genetic throwback from some of the Vikings that mixed in with us hundreds of years ago.
That's right.
And I was brought up in a big Polish community in London, but obviously my roots, I didn't feel that I belonged, obviously, in England. I wasn't in Poland, but yet I was here living this Polish community, and a wealth of background. My parents, my mother's family were deported to one of Stalin's work camps, I was just saying.
It's World Storytelling Day. We have people from different cultures, and that is very special to all of us, I think. But we are celebrating a partnership between people in the village and their neighbours in Lanarkshire, of which I'm one, and of which Chuck is one, because he's our own Lanarkshire Red Indian.
The next time Epaminondas went to visit his auntie, she gave him a puppy dog. Cuddly little puppy dog. Well, Epaminondas, he sort of wrapped it in clean leaves and took it down to the brook and cooled it in the water, cooled it in the water.
And I'll see if it's all right. So little Robin flew up and looked at the bedroom window. Then he came back and he said, actually, he said, the little hunchman, he's not like
At church, along past the valley, I want you to meet the truths in that church at night. Because in that church, there's an ogre, a huge monster.
Proudly present the story of the shared ticket for the theatre. And why shared? Because the prices are so high.
The story I wanted to tell was one that was told to me by my parents and by my grandparents. It's probably the first story that I learned about my Polish tradition, and I've been talking to my friend, my new friend Gosia from Warsaw here. We were talking about tradition, and very often when you're born away from your homeland like my parents were, they held on very tightly, very keenly to their tradition and to their roots.
The old city gate of Edinburgh stood right there, okay? And the old city wall ran right here through the middle. Now, that is why everything here sticks out into the street to form what they called the neither bow, the lower bend, where the big market street closed up to allow the city gate, which was called the neither bow or nether bow. Pile up all these manuscripts.
Official birthday. Kind of way.
Workshops are really the kind of engine of the whole thing, you know, because you're always trying to connect with new groups of people.
It's alive! It's alive!
Or small-scale music, you know, or all of those things rolled into one, you know. Something that would be good for children, you know, that also would be good for older people, lifts and access. So it was quite a challenge, and I think that the architects have really worked back at Mulberry House, which is another of the really old medieval houses. Storytellers are at the front and the authors at the back.
Yeah,
sure, exactly. You see, the storytellers come first, and then the writers utilise it. You see, so some people feel that's the right way. It's the global storytelling author. So the chair is from Burma, and it's made of old agricultural implements. And then the hanging is supposed to take you here from Scotland and Ireland, you know, the whole idea of round the world, and we're in the Middle East there, or...
Let it open, and the feathers flew down the street, and up the street, and everywhere. And he said to the man, your story...
And singing, no, 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 Johnny Monroe.
Tell me that.
Ein wunderschönes Schloss. Aber im Schloss, im Gang ganz hinten, war eine Küche. Keine Name.
Oh, I know. Can anybody feel the wind today? Can you feel any wind?
Not much wind either.
Can we have the German and Latvian word for wind, please?
Wind.
The wind. And what in Latvian? Where's that?
Vējš.
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 Okay then. They said the wind, off you go. So Spider started her long journey back, and she went up over mountains, and then on the highest mountain peak she met Flieger. Eine Flieger. And in Polish, please? Mucha. Mucha. And in Latvian? Musha. Musha. Little Musha. And Spider, to cut a long story short, said to Musha, she said, I found the wind sleeping by a rock, and she'll be back soon to blow all over planet Earth. Okay, said Fly, and was gone.
That's the stuff to make you jump. Mama's a millionaire.
We're putting one potato in there, 2 potato, 3 potato more, 5 potato, 6 potato. Anyway, and we're getting all these potatoes creeping along. And I thought, I'm thinking this career of theft. I'm beginning to think I could go to Paris and become like Raffles and leave white gloves when I'm stealing potatoes out of supermarkets and things. This is good. I'm getting into the thrill of this crime. And as I seen stealing these potatoes, and Tom's out front there, surreptitiously slinking about, stealing these potatoes, filling up his pockets, and Bobby's out there in the middle of it. And he's not very good at it. He's, there's some big name ties over there! So we go over.
Now play. And his favourite playthings were the mice. And there was a wee mouse, baby of the family, came out and was trying to open the fridge with his own invention, the fridge opening machine. He had a wee handle, which drove a bigger handle, which drove a great big series of cogs and coils, which operated a lever which would prise open the fridge door, and he was very proud of it. And while he was doing this, he failed to notice that the cat had snuck up behind him. And the cat tried to grab him. Well, he got out of the way, slammed the fridge door on the cat's head and ran into the sill. And the cat ran after him and banged his clothes in the middle.
The brother fell in love with the princess, as happens in all these stories. But the princess, well, she had him under a spell, and she asked him how he got all these magical things. And at first, he refused to tell, then he refused to tell again, but eventually he said, well, it's my magic flute.
And I took this clown character who did some clowning, and I took a band for the circus equipment, and we did circuses. It happened in the early morning, and later we were judging this storytelling contest, and there were lots of storytellers, and there came a point where we were to consider who was winning the competition, and there was to be a prize. The trophy would be presented to the winner. Only the only trouble was the storytelling trophy had not been brought back by the person who won it the year before.
And he's walking out of the room. And as a special birthday present to you, Colin, I'm going to tell a story tonight that has never been told in Scotland before. It's one of my people's stories. It's one that I've just learned. And I know, therefore, that it has never been heard in Scotland.
Tāds ilgāks interesants gadījums. Kā jau Latvijas meitenes smogas aizpratāt uz to šķeuriem, šķeurus nūti, atbrauc nūtienš, da kaiminēca Nu, ja padzīvoja vienu dienu, padzīvoja otru dienu, es skatos multinašu kaidēti.
Ir darba diena, viens jaunieklis steidzas pa pilsētu šausmīgā ātrumā pa trotuāru uz tramvaju. Roku tur visu laiku šitā stingri, pirkstus izstiepis, iekāp tramvajā, nu kā jau parasti tur pie tās drāts, tur pie tās stangas turas. Visi virzās uz priekšu, viņš ar pamazām kust, bet kas iet garām, tā kā viņu druscīt pagrūsne, viņš pagriežas, lai to roku neaiztiek.
Labi, īt pie priekšu. Pirmīs krīvs, otrīs vocīts, trešīs amerikāņus. Labi, īt. Īrauga. Krīvs saka, zirga sildi.
Labāk organizācija brīvgani. Sveikas visas saternicas. Oi, kā jūs iemat man tos brīvganus jaunībā nūst. Oi, tādāds mīlestības mēnesis no otras stostiešu par savu pādīju kolkoza balli. Pilna mīlestības te balli bija. Īvedualizēt uztabā. Nu, kapcini kūdas pagiva īra vaškapie. Nu, ņemui čičenīgu zakudāļu zasāta gabalē. Nu, īra saparumciņa, lai atsagrīšu jaunieba, man kā reizo vitmār reizo. I tāda marka. Akompaņēmu, muti, Jāzus Marija. Kosit Pakalnim poškrie, čutnā aizarējus. Tātoda mēs te izžūrēja visi miti ministrim savu dziru, gribu buteļēti pīdovot. Nu, i to taču tā zeltanas acis nepaliks. Paldies par uzmanību. Sazatiksam paļņē.
A pēkšņi, zin kai, manam saimniekam, kai tai braukšana. Šitai tev vīnīt, ka īdzērs, ka nevar stūri taisni noturēt. I vat brauc, i turpat onkuļēša bitēs īkšā. A tur taida grāvieņa. A ritens īsprūst, a ni uz priekšu, ni atpakaļ ar traktoru.
Ārstiet, tas nu poša, kas man vainas. Vot kā es guļu, tak es guļu. Nu, bet kad es siežu, tak es siežu. I pīsta ceļās iedoda, vot kā es stovu, tak es stovu. Neiru, ko ta loks pasavīra, nu, kundziet, stovit. Nu, tak tagad aita.
Pašiem liek stāst. Labs klausītājs ir arī labs stāstītājs un otrādi.
Nu, nevienmēr. Jā, es arī iebilstu.
Bet varbūt tie, kas ir lieli klausītāji, viņi tikai nesāk stāstīt. Bet ceļš uz lielu stāstītāju ir būt vispirms lielam klausītājiem.
Es vispār piekrītu, jā. Vispirms ir daudz jāklausās, lai varētu arī kaut ko stāstīt.
Kad man bērni kaunās vai baidās runāt ventiņu valodā, tad viņi izvēl ventiņu līzi. Un viņi uztaisījuši tādu zeķu lelu, uz roku var uzmaukt, un tad viņam nav jākaunās par to, ka viņš kaut ko nepareizi pateica. Jo runājis tokš būs tā ventiņu līzi. Un tā viņš ir it kā netīši savu vainu novēlis uz citu pleciem. Vai arī viņam jau vieglāk ir piedot, ka viņš kaut ko nezina pareizi, kā te visi muti viņam ir, rau neteiks, ka līja ausiem, bet puika, kas to ir, nu, mans dēls to uzmunstierē. Un viņš diktam labi māk uzdāp te tādu čumu, varbūt, ka te var uzšūt vienu zobu, un ka viņš te tā ekožas, varbūt viņš ir galīgi āzvilts ciet un tā. Vai ne, evilts lūpieks kaut ko, un tlik cenšas, kā nu viņam iznāks, viņš kaut ko tur izburtēt grib vai kā. Un tāpēc tāda līdz, un kā māca dialektu bērniem, tā var teikt, nu, jems līdz savus lēlas, mācis mēs viņems. Lai viņi zina, Kā teikt, kura brīdi vajag turēt muciet, un kad to vajag viņu vērt vaļ, kad īstais brīdis. Jo muļķis pagūda ar tur tik tā, ka viņš stāv kluss.
Tā kā jūra sāk izžūt, tas zivs vien lielāks, smukāks un gārdāks bija. Un mēs tā kā ventiņi, mums tā jūra pavisam tūbi, tā mēs izdomājam, kā tad to zivu dabūs ārā. Nu, te to makšķeri, jā, te gar māli, te pamakšķeri. Bet kā tā liela jūra dabūs ārā? Bet to tagad izdomāju. Jādabā kādu koki, jāsasit kaut kādu kasturi un jābrauc pa to jūru.
Pastāstīšu, kā tas nāk, kad kuldīdznieki tikai te māk ķert zivs gaisā. Kad tās zivs lec, un viņas mācīja noķert. Citā nevienā vietā tā nenotiek, tikai kuldīgā. Un tas ir bijis aplam sen noticies. Vecākie tilta akmeņi neatminas tos laiks. Tepat Ventmalē dzīvais viens zvejnieku vīrs. Čakls, labs vīrs, bet viņam tai dzīvē gājis gaužām grūti.
Bet te līdāk pēkšņi sākus runāt cilvēku balsī. Ai, Jēpīt, nu nenes mani mājās, nē, es varu izpildīt visu, ko vien tu vēlies. Nu, tikai palaid man vaļā. Nu, Jēpīts paņēmis to palaidis. Tad līdāk teikusi, tev jāsaka tā, pēc līdāks pavēles, lai notiek kā vēlos. Un tad to, ko tu vēlies. Nu, Jēpīts teikusi, pēc līdāks pavēles, lai notiek kā vēlos. Spaiņi, ejiet paši uz mājām. Nu, spaiņi sākuši rikšiem uz māju. Jēpīts pats no muguras lepns iet, mājnieki vien brīnījušies. Pārgājis mājā, atkal uz krāsnes nolicies gulēt.